Good morning, humans of today. It is your one and only favorite draft man, and we're gonna be playing something a little bit spooky, a little bit twisted, a little bit beyond human comprehension. Yes, and I know that, well, frankly, might be hard to understand, but just do your best. It's called Dagon, right? You know, I'm not even gonna explain it. I'm just gonna throw you right into it, and we're gonna see what this has to offer, and try and grasp as much of it in our little feeble minds as we possibly can. So, okay, here it is. Dagon is a faithful, interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work, focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. So this isn't really like a difficult game to play. The difficulty comes from the understanding of what's going on. There's a little person over there. Look at that guy. Look, it's like a little cloaked little guy. Well, anyway.
I am writing this under an appreciable...
You're writing this under an appreciable... Okay. You gonna finish your thought? Appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more. Okay. During the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the Elder sign. Okay. So... Oh. I see. Wow, the sensitivity is like fucking ridiculous. It's like super slow and then super fast all of a sudden. Oh my god, I cannot fucking... Stop! Whoa, stop it! I might need to get my controller out for this. Oh my god, stop! Whoa!
Penniless,
Okay.
and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
It's a little bit dark. Alright,
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
Okay, he's got drug problems.
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Okay.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Interesting.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces had not completely sunk to their latter degradation. Okay.
So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Okay, and that means what exactly? How much does a naval prisoner get? Oh, what are you? Wow, stop being so fast. Jesus. The Huns. Okay, I was curious about them. The Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Rome Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. during World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans in order to emphasize their brutality. However, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops on the 27th of July, 1900, before they embarked to China. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated. No quarter will be given. Prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls into your hands is forfeited, just as 1,000 years ago the Huns under their king Attila made a name for themselves, one that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. The refusal to take prisoners was a clear breach of the law and customs of war adopted during the First Hague Convention of 1899. Did not take them very long to break the law. You can read the discovered trivia immediately or go back to them later in the main menu. Turn off displaying trivia if you find that the feature distracts you from the story. This can be changed anytime in the options. Yeah, I'll show trivia upon finding them. Sure. Now, I have to move my mouse super slowly or it's just gonna just jump right. See, look at that. I'm not moving it that fast. Anyway, I'll ignore it.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Okay. These are my water and provisions, I assume. Alright. Come on. Come on. Almost. There we go. And what the heck did I just do?
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Ooh, pretty! Oh my god, that's so pretty! It's like I'm back in Subnautica.
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator.
I wonder if the stars are accurate.
Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
At least I'm up that boat. Oh, I hear something. Come on, slowly. Oh, there we go. Oh, I missed it. Come on, slowly. I'm barely moving my mouse, by the way. Whoa, there we go.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Cast on the shores of some habitable land. That's some pretty slim chances there, buddy. I need to eat. Hold on. Or drink or something.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
It's pretty, though.
The change happened whilst I slept. Its details I shall never know. For my slumber,
I almost forgot this was a horror game.
Infested was continuous.
Holy mother of tentacles! Oh, it's just a little squid!
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
Jesus, man, those descriptions are crazy.
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
Is that a nautilus? That's pretty cool.
For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish, and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
So that would be an octopus there. We got a nautilus. We got a squid right in front of us. That's another nautilus. There's some squids over there. I think that's an octopus that's in front of the squid in the way back there. And then we got the kraken behind our boat. Unless that's a squid on our boat, but it looks like a kraken in the distance.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity.
I don't know where's the unutterable hideousness. Okay, so he really hates this.
There was
which makes
within
sense,
hearing,
honestly.
And nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
I mean, if you're just if you just like, if you fell asleep and all you were in was this vast ocean in all directions with nothing else in sight, and then you suddenly woke up to this, and you weren't startled, at least startled, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. Cause that's freaky. This is actually freaky.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Let's look at my boat here. Ew! Nasty sound effects.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
I crashed. Oh god, what the fuck is that? What is this?
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions
trilobite. That ain't no horseshoe crab.
Of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
Those are extinct. Why is there a trilobite?
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
I mean, I don't see an ocean. It kind of seems like the ocean fucking dried up, and this is the seafloor.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Well, I mean, it's very obviously that most of these things aren't even dead. No, really, it's not going to have me look at the trilobite.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Okay.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
Yeah. I mean, when all the water's gone, it's gonna evaporate, right? Only makes sense.
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue. On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk.
Oh, no, that is a really old, really ancient animal right there. I don't know what it's called, but that thing has been extinct for many years. At least 50 years.
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
To find somewhere that you can be safe and familiar and survive in?
All day I
Whoa.
forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
These, okay, I don't think these are even real animals in the first place. What the fuck are these things? Oh, I gotta... What is that? These are so weird. These are so weird. Those look like giant torches that are unlit. That's crazy. And that's a whale. Oh, maybe they're crab spiders. I don't know. I think these are too big for crab spiders. Woo, woo, and there we go.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
It's a dolly zoom that you're experiencing right there, man. Happens in horror movies all the time, bro. There it is. You got there.
I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance. An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Okay. Fair enough, fair enough.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night.
I have a theory.
But ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration.
Oh, where'd it go?
Determined to sleep no more.
It's probably behind me.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again.
You know, you could just explain it better. I don't know. He probably couldn't.
And in the glow
He's
of
having
the moon,
dreams
I
that are
saw how unwise I'd
incomprehensible
been to
by
travel by
a
day.
human. So, I mean, it makes sense why he wouldn't want to have them again. Why was it unwise to travel by day?
Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
Oh, okay.
Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset.
I don't know. I still feel like I'd rather do it in the day. Like I would be willing to. I'd be okay with sacrificing some energy for some light. You know what I mean?
Picking up my pack,
I'd
I
feel
started
safer.
for the crest of the eminence.
The crest of the eminence. My pack.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared
I
high
can't
enough
see it.
to illumine.
Unless that is it. Gee, if what I'm looking at, this nothing here, if that's the pit, fucking hell, that's big.
I felt myself on the edge of the world,
Yeah, that looks like the edge of a world.
peering
Of
over
a
the
flat
rim
Earth or
into
something.
a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
Jump in, I dare ya.
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's getting brighter. It's getting brighter.
As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
What does that mean?
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent,
Oh, okay, you are going down.
whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
Well, that's good. Grab this foothold and arm hold and hand hold, and we're gonna walk ourselves
Urged
down
on by
the
an
pit.
impulse which I cannot definitely
Ooh.
analyze. I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope,
It's
which
an
rose
obelisk.
steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the
From the
ascending moon.
Space Odyssey, 2001. Yeah. Where's my little? Oh, here it is. Yep-oo. Oh
That it
yeah,
was
that's the
merely a
obelisk.
gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured my.
Oops, I accidentally clicked. I soon assured myself.
But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature.
Yeah. Excuse me, that definitely does not look natural.
A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Oh wait, what did you say? A closer security filled me with sensations I cannot express. Scrutiny, not security. Okay. Oh, what is that? What is that? Ooh, spooky.
For
A little
despite
bit
its enormous
kooky.
magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young,
Oh, that's why we're in a ravine right now. A trench, if you will. I completely forgot this is supposed to be the ocean, like, taken out of its spot here. Of course, like, if you think about how big the land above the ocean is, it's probably just as big below the ocean and much more steep, you know, because it's weathered less. I would assume?
beyond a doubt
I could be
that the
completely
strange
wrong about that.
object was a well-shaped monolith, whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
So if it was made by an intelligent animal, your first thought is calling them creatures? I feel like there's a little, it's a little insensitive if you ask me. You know.
Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
What do we got? Let's see. Stars, the moon. Oh, come on. There we are. Ah.
Now near the zenith,
Whoa.
shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
Ooh. That's cool.
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace
monolith,
both
not obelisk.
and crude sculptures.
Why did I say obelisk? What the heck is an obelisk? What? Let's see here. Come on, phone. You gotta be faster than that. Alright. What is an obelisk? An obelisk. Oh, no, I was right. An obelisk is a tall, four-sided, narrow stone pillar. Oh, that tapers towards a pyramid at the top. No, how? What? No way. Okay, obelisk. What is an obelisk versus monolith? Alright, whatever. Apparently, it's both and it's neither, so whatever. Alright, let's see. What do we got here? What's some ancient patterns do we got glowing in here?
Of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like, wait, so you're telling me you've never seen hammerhead sharks and seahorses and crabs and nautiluses? You've never seen any of those before? Jellyfish? What else do we got here? That's a box jellyfish. We got a sea turtle. I believe over there is a great white. And then we got a bull shark, I think. I'm not really too sure on the different types of the shells we got here, but I'm seeing... Oh, there's a starfish there. You know?
Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi,
Eels?
crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
I don't see any whales, octopuses, and eels. Oh, in the middle part. Yeah, there's an octopus right there in that little top right corner. The eels. Oh, that must be what that thing is. It's kind of hard to see. Interesting.
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
Well, that's a lionfish, I think. Maybe not, actually. Then we got... that's a giant or a king octopus or whatever it's called. Right there. And then we got Zordan, the grumpy one, right in the middle there. And then we have Antiphylactic John. And then we got Eyeball Steve. You're telling me you've never seen any of those guys in your marine biology books? I'm telling you, they're out there. Ooh, you better watch your back, because if they hear you slandering their name, they're gonna get you. Oh yeah. Oh, they're gonna get you.
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain.
See, I told you they were out there.
It was the pictorial carving, however, that did the most to hold me spellbound.
It was, yeah, let me look at this. Let me look at this. Yeah, come on. Come on. There we go. Storytelling methods. Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City, journals and characters' notes, the Shadow Out of Time, the Haunter of the Dark, Islands Emerging from the Ocean, Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies, Mygo in The Whisperer in Darkness. It also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order to not spoil the ending. Okay?
Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs, whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré.
What the heck is a bas-reliefs? I'm gonna look this up. Bas-reliefs. Bas-reliefs. How do you spell that? Bas-relief. What is that? Meaning. Bas-relief is a sculptural technique where figures or designs are carved or molded to protect only slightly from a flat background surface. To project, sorry, excuse me. Okay, so rather than carving the shape into it, you carve around the shape so that the shape pops out of it. Kind of like how you, like molds, you know, where you, like, mold something and then you... Okay, better explanation. It's like a stamp. It's like the stamp part of a stamp, where you, when you put it on the ink pad, it only covers the top surface because it's extended from the main block. That's what it is. That's what that is. Am I making sense? I think I'm making sense. If I'm not, somebody can explain it better than me.
I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men.
A certain sort of men.
Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto.
It's called a mermaid and a merman.
Or paying homage at some monolithic shrine, which appeared to be under the waves as well.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm just gonna call all of the mer creatures mermaids. I mean, you gotta think about it like this. Describing humans, we call them mankind, right? Like the men of the, even though it's men and women, but we generalize it to the term man. And I feel like that's only fair to the mer people to generalize them as mermaids, you know what I mean? I feel like, you know, that's kind of fair, you know? It's like, well, if you're gonna call mankind the masculine term to generalize them, then we're gonna go with the feminine term to generalize the mer people, the mermaids. So in my eyes, they're all mermaids. That's, you know, that's what I'm going with.
Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail.
Oh, they're hideous. They're not.
For the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a poem.
Okay, but he does think they're ugly. They're not, look at that, they're not ugly, they're just scary.
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips.
That's just a swamp monster, dude.
Glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall.
This guy is like sensitive, Jesus. This guy needs to sit down and watch like the Terrifier movies, or like, what other things could be like Cabin in the Woods. There's a lot of scary monsters and stuff in there that he would be freaked out by. What other things are there? I don't know, a lot of horror movies that involve like monsters and like creatures, and because most of the horror movies I watch are like serial killers or demons and stuff like that, and those are more humanoid than these. So I don't know, he just needs to sit down and watch some scary movies.
Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background.
Chiseled badly? Those look beautifully carved. What are you talking about? Oh, out of proportion. I got it.
One of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
Okay.
I remarked,
so they're big.
As I say, their grotesqueness and strange size.
One of these things is gonna jump scare this guy.
They were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
Man, this obelisk, this monolith here is in pretty damn good shape for being that old. Holy crap. Yeah.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me.
You know what this is making me want to watch again? You guys ever seen that movie Atlantis, the animated one? Damn, that was a good movie. That was a great movie. I gotta watch that again. It's been too long. Don't watch the sequel though, and many of you might be going, "There's a sequel?" Yeah, and it's trash, so don't watch it.
I saw it.
What'd you see? I accidentally clicked, so I missed it. What'd you see?
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface,
oh!
The thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Whoa!
It darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith.
That's why it's been in such good shape. He's doing touch-ups.
About which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
Oh, he's passing out. I'm gonna say, I feel like if it was the way they were compared to a whale, I feel like he'd be bigger than that. You know?
I think I went mad then.
That's when you went mad? Buddy, I think you went mad a little earlier than that.
Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
You remember little, but you're explaining all of this to us pretty well, I think.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Come on. And there we go. Is that looks like Earth. That doesn't look like the moon.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
Oh, the ocean's gonna come back.
At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Okay. And then I wake up, and I'm right back where I was when I fell asleep the other night.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital.
Well, that's strangely otherworldly too. You weren't there. You weren't there last time you fell asleep.
Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
That American ship which had picked up my boat in the mid-ocean.
In my
sure,
delirium,
buddy,
I had said
sure.
much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Do you ever think that maybe you kind of just, I don't know, had like a, I don't know, maybe a bad trip, or like a nightmare, or like a hallucination from a coma or something? You know, I don't really know if something like this could happen in reality, you know? You gotta put some logic to this. Oh, there's a door. Let's see if I can't escape.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon.
Dagon, the fish god. Yes. This guy's a pervert. Dagon! Dagon. Dagon was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem and an underworld prison warder in one of the Babylonian texts. He is often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's works, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that reside in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Interesting. Fascinating. Am I standing in this chair? That's quite interesting. Alright, where am I headed? The wardrobe. That's not a wardrobe, but, you know, close enough.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
Oh, I can look all the way around now. Oh, the Necronomicon! August Derelith and the Cthulhu Mythos. August Derelith was an American writer and anthropologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's work after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. That is very true. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derelith was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. I thought we were talking about Lovecraft being controversial. Anyway, as a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derelith after the author left the mortal plane. I did not know that. That is interesting. That is really interesting. Oh, here we are. Is there more things to see? I don't think so. Let's, yeah. What time is it? Let's see what time it is. It is 10:07. Lovely, 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 lovely. I'm assuming this is in the morning because it's bright out.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
Let's see the thing. What thing?
I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
Uh-huh.
So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Okay. It is time to die, I guess. He's seen enough. Lovecraft on tobacco and alcohol. Lovecraft hated tobacco. Even though he used to smoke when he was 12 in order to look and feel like an adult, in his correspondence with friend Reinhard Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zealia Brown, dated 13th of February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor, and never intend to, having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate natural equipoise, I don't know what that word is, of the evolved human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal resurgence, hence I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favor of prohibition, the prohibition of any one antisocial force as well as any other. Source: The Spirit of Revision, Lovecraft's Letters to Zealia Brown, Reed Bishop, H.P. Lovecraft, Sean Brainey, and Andrew Lehman, S.T. Joshi. Okay. I did not know that either. I mean, pretty much really, I only know about his cat.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm.
Phantasm. Phantom's orgasm.
A mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat, after my escape from the German man of war.
Woo! I'm back in the water, baby! Back in the water!
This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply.
I thought I was trying to end myself. What is this?
I cannot think
Whoa!
of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its
Oh,
slave
he's gonna be consumed.
worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving
Oh
their own
my
detestable
God!
likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite.
Obelisk! See? I was right.
I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Jeez. Those are some big fishes. Yeah. It was the statue of Fishiberty. The Fishiberty. What is that? Boom. Boom. The end is near. I'm clicking. Why isn't it? Oh, I just skipped something because it wasn't registering. Oh, whatever. I'll read it and edit. And when I edit this. Here we are. Is there something else I could learn? No. Woo! Whoa! Holy crap! Slow down! Come on! Come on! There we go.
Find me.
It's gonna find you, dude. It found you.
God, that hand. The window. The window.
Dude is having a really bad trip right now. Oh, I have to look. I gotta go to the window. The window! Hurry! Hurry! And that, kids, is why you don't do drugs. Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself into our little pool of cosmic horror. We would appreciate it if you took a moment to rate Dagon and check out other games and DLCs. Leave feedback. Yeah, sure, I'll leave some feedback. Yeah, this was good. This was good. Okay. Here, I'll let you guys see what I'm doing here. This game was a pretty good one. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. It's safe to say, it's safe to claim that this was one of the good ones. The story was short and simple, but very immersive and full of details. If you are a fan of Lovecraftian stories and spooky games, then this is surely for you. There we go. Do I recommend this? Yes, I do. All right. Yeah, I think that's a good review. I think that's a good review. Bleep, 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 ba, ba. All right. So, well, that was my review of the game. I think it was good. I think the story was pretty good. I think that the environments and the way everything looked and felt and sounded, I think that was all pretty good. And I think the pacing was also perfect. Like, I don't think there was anything wrong with the pacing at all. It was a good little short game. So thanks for watching. Thank you for developers for making the game. And if you would like to message me about anything at all, I have a Discord channel down below. And if you would like to support me in any other way other than watching this, which is already greatly enough, then you can check out my merch store. Also down below in the description, link to it. It's pretty good stuff. It's got some pretty good stuff on there. Oh yeah, so I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night.